Hello and welcome to VChess. My name is Naiditsch. I am a chess grandmaster, and today we're gonna do the same like yesterday to play some games, to play some rapid games and try to understand what is going on the chessboard. So let's start. We challenge 10-minute game. Let's see who is going to be our first opponent. So we have our first opponent. Let's go with the move e4. c5. We have the Sicilian, knight f3 the main Sicilian, knight c6, and let's go with the move bishop b5. I like these systems with the move bishop b5, knight f6, not the main, but of course very possible move. Let's go with the move knight c3. Another main continuation is to take on c6 immediately. g6, a very interesting line because it allows white to play the move e5 quite early. So should we try the move e5 or should we do first the short castle? I think both is possible, but let's go with the move e5 because I think it leads to very interesting positions. Let's go. Now black usually goes with a knight on g4. Yes, this is what we see. e5 is hanging, so the idea is to take here. And now the idea of white is to play against the knight on g4, which is obviously not perfectly positioned. Usually we play the move h3, so we hunt it away, and then we continue the move d3, so we activate the bishop. The knight quickly wants to get to d4, but I don't know if this is very dangerous, so we just short castle. Very calm position. We should be able to develop our bishop to f4 usually is where we go, so let's do it. And bishop is taking a nice position on f4. Maybe black wants to get somewhere the move f6 if possible, but at the moment it's not, so we have time for some other solid response like queen on d2. Next, we have to get the rook eventually to e1, or we put the rook from the f to e1. We have this knight e4 idea, attacking the pawn on c5. Obviously, not very dangerous because the pawn can be easily defended, but then we're gonna get the knight somewhere, maybe g5 if the bishop goes to e6, or let's see what happens. In general, the main plan is here to act against the bishop on g7 and long positional game. So here nothing fast, it's just a slow play all the time. We have to think where to put the pawn because the bishop will go here. So we have to be a little bit careful not to lose the pawn at some moment because we're gonna move the knight eventually to e4 or the knight to e2. Let's think. Maybe we're gonna start with the move a3. So we pretend that we want to play b4, but I don't think that we want to play b4, we just pretend. Theoretically, b4 could be a move, but I don't think we would do it immediately. So here we just take. We give a choice. Yeah, black is usually taking. This is absolutely correct. And now we have to think, because maybe I made a mistake, so I should have played rook e1. The idea is that knight e4, there might be something like queen on d5, but is it working to play queen on d5? I'm not 100% sure. Of course, we have to check, but okay, let's see. Let's see if I made a mistake or not. No, he's not going for queen d5. It could be interesting to play queen on d5, trying to win the pawn on e5 straight away. Not sure if it would work or not, but it would be a try. Now usually we have to bring our pieces, so the idea is of course to get active here on the king side in a long run. So we have a very positional game. There is nothing too fast going on in these positions. We have to be patient and wait for the opportunity. Long run, we try to play against the bishop on g7, we try to attack the king on g8 in a very long run. The idea of black is obviously to push something, eventually the move c4, but also not so easy to get the move c4 to work. Queen on d5 now makes sense, the pawn is under attack. But now we have the rook on e1, so let's say it's not a very dangerous move. We have a lot of different ways to defend upon on e5. As well, we have this opportunity of playing bishop to h6. So we have to calculate, does it work to play bishop h6? Because black is going to take the pawn on e5. So maybe it is just not working, because I don't see any tactics. Maybe I'm missing something, but from the first view, I don't see tactic. Okay, there is some small tactic here. We can play, take and play like knight on g3. The idea eventually is to get the pawn on e7 back, queen d6 is sort of forced, and then we try like queen g5 with the idea knight h5, but it looks a bit suspicious. I don't think it works. At least it's not looking like it should work. We have idea of playing bishop g5 now. This is quite nice tactic. Attacking the pawn on e7, and queen cannot take the pawn because there is knight f6. So this might be not so bad actually. We might be able to try the move bishop on g5, or just a simple knight on g3 followed by f3, because he's gonna get the bishop to b7. I think it's also pretty decent. So let's go back with a knight. From the idea of bishop b7, we can defend with a move f3. Pretty safe. The idea is bishop h6 followed by knight h5 idea, so they're very typical. The knight on g3 on one hand is badly positioned. On the other hand, it is making sense because we have this idea of playing knight h5, so it has pluses and minuses. As well, we have here the idea of rook e4. It could be also very useful to combine this idea of bishop h6 and get the rook to h4. So, as you can see, most of the ideas are here connected to the move bishop h6. Bishop h6 is quite crucial. In case of black, I would react against the move bishop h6 because it's just so unpleasant. So black has few options, I believe. Easy option, for example, to play rook e8. This looks decent, because in case bishop h6, black can take on e5. I guess my idea should be to play rook e2 followed by rook e1, or we can do it over rook f2 and rook to e2, so it's the same. And then continue with the idea bishop h6. As well, idea of h4, h5 is very typical, so we try to advance on the king side. We see the move f6 immediately. Not 100% sure if this is the right reaction for black, because I can take, and this position in my opinion is slightly better, but I think I can also go like bishop h6 straight away, because why not to do that? Move like f takes e5, I don't think it's a good move, because we can take queen g5, we win the pawn back on e5, and then we have this pressure on the e-file. So this is not the best. And then the question is why black played the move f6. To play f5 is possible, but I think after f5, white should be doing a little better. Bishop on b7, again the pawn f3. Not perfect. Counterplay with c4, still not there, so it looks like slight advantage for white, in my opinion. Also, we have this idea of knight h5 somewhere. Maybe not immediately, but we should keep it in mind. Welcome to everyone in the chat. In case you have some chess questions, please ask. Don't be shy. I will be happy to answer your chess questions. So, rook c8. Idea is obvious. To play the move c4. Now, is it time to take and get the rook to e7, but we have this rook f7. Also, this is looking like a slight advantage for white, because we can simply play the move rook e1, but we can wait, I think, here with the move ef. There is no rush. There is no rush with it. We can play the move b3 just to block the move c4, and let's see what happens later. Or we try to be more aggressive, maybe, to play something like that, or to play rook f2 followed by rook e2. So we have few options here. I like the option to play rook to f2, I think, because it feels good. We prepare the move rook to e2. We keep the center very dynamic. So we have many options here with white. We keep this option bishop g7. We could have taken, of course, but I think it's not gonna run away. We prepare to double on the e file, so we will be e takes f6. It will be the threat for white. So again, it's a slow play. It's a very positional game. So we try to build up pressure against the black king on g8. c4, so he is pushing. Maybe it's time to take, I think. Because maybe we can also take here, but why not to take? And he has to take. Now let's develop the queen, or immediately rook e2, but here is the c3, I'm not 100% sure, so because it's a rapid game, so we have to play a little bit faster. Let's go with a move queen f4. We're getting closer to the dark king, to the black's king, so let's consider now already taking, then to dominate on the e file. As we know, knight and queen very, very strong in the attack. So obviously I would like to give a checkmate at some moment. We still have the idea of h4 and h5. So positionally wise, we are doing very well, I guess. Now we have to be careful with the tactics, because d3 is weak, so he's going to try to play against the pawn on d3, but we will be trying to give a checkmate to the black king. We have ideas queen g3, this queen g4, knight h5. Finally, we see the move f5, so this is very, very double-edged position now. Bishop is bad, but we have this weakness on the pawn d3, so usually we should be trying to give a checkmate to the black king. We have idea e6, might be good, might be bad, because e6 is a weakness, so maybe let's first try to play the move h4, h5. This is very useful. To get the pawn to h5 is great. We can combine it with the move queen on g5, and we can see that the rook on f8, no great options. The pawn on d3, for example, bishop a6, can be easily defended with the move rook to d2. And in theory, we want to get eventually the knight from g3 to f4. Yeah, so he attacks, we just defend, so this is not a big problem for the moment. King on g1, very, very safe, so this is great. The knight to f4 over e2 eventually, or maybe over queen g5 in combination with the move h5 as well. In case we manage to open the h file, we have this king f2 followed by rook h1. So he is not afraid. Let's ask him why is he not afraid. Let's play the move queen on g5. I think it's not so bad. And here we have check and knight f4. It looks like a good decision, because why not to put the knight on f4? Yeah, I think I should go for it. Beautiful knight on f4. It also comes with a tempo, and then we have this h5 continuation. Then we play king f2, and then we finish the game with a move rook h1. So it's like a dream case scenario for white. If we manage, I guess the game is just over. Let's see if we are able to do that. So king f2, h5. This is the idea of white. Rook on d2 is defending everything, no entry for the black rook on c2. Welcome, welcome to the chat, nice to see you. And yeah, let me see the comments after I finish with the current game, because otherwise it's a little bit difficult to do both. We have the move h5, we have also very interesting just to take here on g6, then to give check, take, king has to go back to h8. Is it a checkmate? I don't see a checkmate, so let me just proceed with the move h5, because it feels like a very, very good position. Maybe I could have taken, but not 100% sure, so I'm not gonna risk it. We have a very beautiful position, there is no rush. We can try to win a beautiful positional game. The pawn structure of black is now under attack. We have this king f2 followed by rook h1 idea. So basically we knew what we're gonna do already a long time ago. Now we are just executing the strategy we had. Let's see. Let's see if it's gonna work. Also now to sacrifice like that, it's very interesting because this might be a checkmate actually, but not 100% sure. And again, there is no rush. King f2, rook is getting to h1. Rook to g8 is a defense, but we're just gonna take it. What a monster knight on f4. What a knight. Controls everything. Black is in trouble. Black is in trouble, so let's go with a rook h1 next. e6, so my opponent is trying to defend. Maybe his idea is actually to play queen g7. Some pressure, so we should not let him do that. Very simple move, queen h6, attacking the pawn on e6. We continue with the idea rook h1. Very close to winning. White is very close to winning. Rook on c6, he's trying to cover everything, but I think we have here a check. And is it game over? I think it is. We want to give a beautiful checkmate. Take a look at that. Queen g7, knight g6 check. Take. And rook h1 would be a checkmate. And now we're gonna do exactly the same. So check, take, let's calculate together. Check. Rook goes back. We play rook h1. And that's it. So, of course, we can also play the move knight h5 here. It will be game over as well, because we are just completely winning with exchange up position. So many different wins. We have to choose one of them to win the queen or to win the exchange. I don't know what's better, because both is looking like a completely winning position here for white. Hard to tell what is the best way to win. Let me think a little bit. What is the easiest way to win the current position? I believe let's go for the queen, because it feels good. It feels like a winning position. Black is forced to take. We check. Forced. Check. Queen goes h7. Now we're gonna give queen f6 back check. Rook g7 is sort of forced, and yeah, it should be... we can just give a check here. Rook goes back. Yeah, this is a beautiful combination, so let's take a look at it. This is forced. Queen h7, this is forced. Rook g7, this is forced, because there is no other move. Now we give a check here. Rook g8 is forced. We're gonna take the queen. So we take the queen. We play queen on d7 check next. So quite nice, yeah, because king takes, we give a check, and we take the rook. So game over. Nice game, nice game. This was a nice game. We have a revenge offer, so we accept it, because we have to be friendly. Interesting game, but our knight on f4, of course, dominated the game completely. Now we have e4, e5, 4 knights opening. Quite a solid opening for white, obviously. Let me read the chat for a second what we have. So great game, yeah, thank you for that. What else we have? We have some questions in the chat. Just a second, let me read it, and then I will be back to the game if we have something interesting. I have 1300. How to get to 2000? Yeah, this is the usual question. Do more chess, and you will get there. So we have the same question: 700 rapid rating. You want to achieve 1000. How to get there? Yeah, I can give only the same answer, and it is do more tactics. Tactics always helps. In general, just be more determined. So you have to work on chess, not just have fun. So blitz does not help you to improve. Like an example. All right, let's take a look at the current position. We have the move g3. The main move is here to play the move d5, but let's go with the move bishop b4, just to play a little bit different sorts of positions. In case we take e4, he's gonna win the pawn back. It's completely okay for black, I would say, but let's play short castle just to have more interesting game. In a classical chess game, I think to take is a good decision because, objectively speaking, position is equal. So we equalize immediately, and yeah, let's play the equal position, which is a practical decision, but still, maybe even a rapid game, it's completely okay. So we can take here. I think it's just a draw. So let's go with the move d6 just to have a game. It's gonna be more interesting. Let me see it for a second, the chat. I have 2000, I want to beat 2500 in 1 year. Yeah, very ambitious goal. Usually something like that is just not possible, so you should put more realistic targets. In case you are... I see another question. 1500 opening theory. In case you're 1500, you don't need opening theory. So don't do openings. Do tactics, do positional chess. You don't need openings. It's too early for openings. In case you want to do openings, you need to be at least, in my opinion, 2000 ELO player, because under to do openings, it's just pure loss of time. You're not gaining anything by that. You're just losing time. Yes, you can spend huge amount of time, you can learn something by heart, but it will not help you because just a random move and you're completely out. So I would not advise you to do a lot of openings in case you're not yet strong enough. Current position, we should aim for the move d5 in case we can. Maybe there is f4, but I'm not so scared of that, so let's go bishop e6, quite typical. We want to get queen d7, bishop h3. Same idea as in the previous game. We are getting ready to play the move d5 in case we can. So yeah, this is what we want. Now d5, usually d5 leads to more or less equal position, so let's go with the move queen d7 just to have a bit more funny position. What else? What else do we have here? All right. By the way, in case you like our educational content on VChess, please like, subscribe. You would help us with this. And yeah, thank you for that in advance. We have a beautiful application on the market. You can try it out. It's very good for getting better, so it's like self-learning application. Also, it's great for the family fun. You can connect our app to TV and have some fun. You solve puzzles, you get better. So yeah. Let's see. I see in the chat some collaborations. Too early for collaborations, and we are a bit different than most of the channels, so we try to give educational content. Most channels are focused more on more interaction, so it's not very educational, but we try on VChess to give you educational content, so we try to make you a better chess player. But of course, in the future, let's see. We can have some collaborations, obviously, but a bit too early. Let's go with the move bishop h3, because our plan with the move queen on d7 is to play the move bishop h3. Bishop on b2, not a perfect position. Again, the pawn on e5. Still, obviously, white is doing very, very solid. I believe the position is more or less equal. So yeah. So we have somebody in the chat who is always saying the same: create a bullet tournament. Stop this, because you will just be banned. You can say your opinion once, you don't need to tell it all the time. And of course, we don't play bullet on this channel, so it's a wrong place for that. Bishop on h1. Should we try to play position 2 knights versus 2 bishops? Quite funny, because the bishops are both blocked, so it's not so bad. The idea of white, knight on e3 here, so very clear plan. And maybe we should also transport our knight to e7, so to get ready to play against the knight e3 move. So let's go knight to e7. Maybe also c5 is possible, just to block everything. A bit strange play, but quite interesting play in my opinion. Or we play very solid move c6, which is also, of course, quite normal. So I don't know. I don't know what we should go for. Maybe also knight g4, because it's good to change the knight in case we can. Many options here for black. Also simple option of knight h7. Maybe f5, maybe knight to g5 next is also looking decent. So, what should we do? What should we do here? Continue positional chess or to push a little bit? Is it time to push? I don't know, maybe a bit too early. So let's go knight h7 first. Queen e6, queen g6 eventually. The problem with the move f5 is that we activate his bishop from h1, so it's not always a great decision to play the move f5, yeah. Let me see for a second the chat. What else do we have? With viewers, at the moment we don't play the viewers because I would like to play and comment the games against the viewers. Sometimes it's a very strong viewer, sometimes not that good, so against viewers later. At the moment, let's enjoy some rapid games and let's try to understand the position. So let's go back. Bishop pair, which might be good, but at the moment the bishops are closed. We have the move c5, quite typical idea. c5, of course, cd to activate the bishop on b2, pretty logical. If I take on c5, white is gonna take the pawn on e5, so this is not what we want. Let's go with a move eventually queen e6. Is it good to play the move queen to e6? I think it's possible. Let's go with the move queen e6. Probably white is going to take. We're gonna take with the rook, so the rook is getting a bit active. Still, bishop pair, in theory, is bishop pair. We should never forget that we're playing against the bishop pair, so long run could be dangerous for black. Let's go back to put the knight on d4. Probably white is going to put the knight on d5. At least I would do so. Let's see. We can always go back with a queen, so it's not like super dangerous. Again, we have a very positional game here. Slow play, slow play. Let's see what happens next. Knight on g5, queen on g6, in theory, to get a little bit active. Knight on d4, maybe. Could be next. But I think white should just close the d file, because not to play knight on d5 looking strange, because the knight is so well positioned there. So I think knight on d5 is pretty forced. Next move of white, we will go back to defend the pawn on c7. Next we have to go knight on g5, maybe knight e6 to get the knight on d4, so we force white to play a move like c3. And maybe the idea of white could be to play c3, bishop c1, and bishop on e3. Let's see what is going to happen next. My opponent is thinking for a long time, so it gives us also some time to think. Knight on d5, yeah, this was quite obvious, so queen on c8. We've been ready for the knight d5 move, and this is what I would always advise you during your own games. Try to pre-think what could be logical for your opponent. In most of the cases, you will guess the move right, so you're gonna save a little bit of time, plus you're not getting surprised. So this element of surprise is sometimes quite unpleasant. You're getting surprised, so sometimes we panic when we're getting surprised. We should avoid that. Knight on g5 as promised. maybe 96 idea, followed by 94. Also, we can just get the rook to d8, but I don't know if this is a good move, because after rook to d8, we are forced to do something with a knight on d5. Difficult to get rid of the knight. To play knight on d4 would be very good, but there is bishop d4, ed, rook takes, c6, because there is a spin, but knight e7 check and white would win an exchange. We are not in time for that. Could we transport the rook to g6, trying to eventually attack a little bit against the white king? Not sure, it's a brilliant idea, but let's try. So we bring the pieces on the king side. At the moment there is no threat, but we start to get ready for some push in the future. Rook is pretty nicely positioned on g6, maybe king h7 next. This is the idea. So, let's see what is going to happen next. Bishop g4 at the moment, there is f3, so not a big help. King h7 I think is a good move here. So it's a nice prophylactical decision. King h7, just to be sure there will be no checks in the future. Wow. f4, so he is getting impatient and this is our chance. So white is showing a bit low on patience now. Bishop g4 is looking so powerful. Knight h3 check is coming next. Oh, he misses. Knight h3 check, so it is game over. Knight on h3, we are forking the king and the queen, and basically we won the game because we've been more patient. So important to be patient in some games. So he wants to play another game, let's play another game against the same opponent, but it's the last game. It's the last game against the current opponent. So we play e4, c5, last time we played the move knight on f3, let's go with the move knight on c3. So important to be patient in chess, don't rush, because sometimes once you rush something you might just lose. So yeah. So let's see the chat for a second. We have some chess questions here, not yet. Knight on c6, so the same story like we saw against knight on f3. If we go now bishop b5, probably we're gonna see again the move g6. Let's play something different. Let's play the move g3, so we are playing the closed Sicilian, bishop on g2, next move is d3. Usual setup is with the move bishop e3, followed by queen on d2. The next move of black is important because black has here many different setups. He's choosing the setup as a move e5, yeah, quite an interesting setup. I also think it's one of the best setups and quite a rarely played setup. So e5 idea is simple, knight e7 followed by short castle, so nice setup with a move e5. We go with a move queen on d2 because otherwise it made not much sense what we've been doing till the current moment. Bishop h6 preparation. Once knight e7, we're gonna play the move bishop on h6. So, in case you like our educational content, please like, subscribe. It would help us a lot. Soon the candidates are coming. I will be commenting on the candidates. And also soon we have a new streamer. It is a nice girl. She's just starting to play chess, so you will be able, together with her, make your first steps into the world of chess. Of course, it's different than my stream, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Who likes to watch a man? Not so many, so you will be able to watch a beautiful girl making her way to become a better chess player. I think it's quite interesting and funny. Knight on e7. So the problem for black here is that there is never a castle because the pawn is hanging here on h6. Let me take the knight, because knight on c3 is not preventing knight from getting to d4, c3. Now we have the move c3. I see immediately the chat is excited. Beautiful girl soon on the stream. How you can watch her? She is gonna start during the next couple of days. She is preparing at the moment, and very soon she is going to stream. So we're gonna have two different kind of streams. She will be streaming and me. Because of the time consumption, I cannot stream every day, so for me it's a little bit difficult to be always with you. But I will be trying to stream fully the candidates. We're gonna start a little bit later. The candidates, so the first 2-3 hours I'm not gonna stream, and then I'm gonna start from the third hour because the most exciting things are not happening in the first 3 hours, and they have this huge time control where they play 6-hour game. I cannot stream for 6 hours, it's just too much. Let's go back to the current position. Queen e7, so he still hopes to get the knight on d4. Makes sense. So for example, I played knight e2 with the idea of knight c3, knight on d5. We're gonna have this knight on d4 next. I would like to avoid that, so maybe I'm gonna start with the move c3. Here is the problem with the move h6. Now no more short castle. So if the pawn would be on h7, then black is doing excellent, I think. Just short castle and black has good position. Now with the pawn on h6, black needs to lose time. Plus it's not so easy to fix the problem with the pawn on h6. f5, very dangerous play. f5 could be good, but now with the king on e8, I'm not so convinced about the move f5. We answer simple move, knight on e2, so still no short castle. With white, we can even consider long castle if we want to get very aggressive. If we want to be more conservative, we play the move short castle followed by the move f4. f5, a bit too early. f5 is the correct approach, but not with the king on e8. So black first should try to solve the problem of the king, and only afterwards to open the game. To open the game first and then to think about your king is just the wrong move order. Strategically, sometimes all we need to do is just to be logical. So in most of the cases, logical play is the best play, and it made not much sense to open before king safety. Probably black is considering now our opponent long castle, but it's so dangerous. It's also dangerous to castle long side. We can open the position with a move b4. We can open the position with a move d4. On the other hand, in case no long castle, what you're gonna play with black? Next move of white, f4, d4, b4. So I have a lot of easy moves, and for black, it's very hard to play. So in chess, I would always advise you try to stay logical. So in most of the cases, don't open position when your king is still in the center. Secure your king first, then think about opening the position. Always try to be strong in the center. As you can see, we have all the pieces beautifully placed. So we are getting ready to push something. Still, rook f1 is not in the game, rook a1 is not in the game. So in best case, we should try to activate the pieces we have. But maybe it's time already to play the move d4 till the black king is on e8. I believe it's an interesting try. d4, of course, we could have brought first the rook on d1, or to play moves like rook e1, rook to d1. This would be like perfect to have rooks e1. What a piece to have rook d1. But sometimes it's all about timing. So we try to use the moment that the black king is still on e8 and to open the position as much as possible. Because with the move h5, black been ready to castle short side, so we try to use a moment. Let's see how it goes. Let's try to predict the moves of our opponent. Bishop c4 looks logical because we have this pin here. I think we can answer simple rook to e1 to sacrifice pawn on d4 is okay because we have here this pressure. So it looks like white is having a beautiful position. Also after the move bishop c4, I think we have the move d5, which is also looking pretty good. We can also take first f5. Yes, so many good options. Let's take back he took the pawn on d4. Simple move, knight takes back, because why not? Why not? Why not? Alright, in case you have some questions, please do ask them in the chat. I'm always trying to answer the question, sometimes a little bit slower because I need to make a move, plus comment, plus read the comments, so it takes a bit of time. Let's see what happens next. Just a second, I want to check if everything is okay with the stream. Yeah, we're doing well. Because sometimes there is a comment that the music is a bit too loud or too low, so I'm trying to set it up nicely. Short castle, rook to e1. Looks like a good move, because why not to do that? On the other hand, just to open the position as much as possible. It looks just so powerful. Look at the bishop on g2. So this was the problem that started with a move f5. Now black is in trouble. Black been our opponent. Again, little bit impatient. So for example, if I would be the coach of the opponent we're playing, I would advise him just be a bit more patient, don't push the things too early. It's clearly what is missing in the play of our current opponent. He's not playing bad, but he's just a bit impatient, yeah. Patience is just so important. You have to do the right thing in the right moment. So yeah. I see in the chat, hello to the chat. Somebody wrote, hey GM, hi back. Thank you for the nice comment, everything is great, so thanks. I am streaming here for you guys to improve in chess. This is the main mission, otherwise I would just not stream. So thank you for the nice comments, appreciate it. Then we have a request, can I play unrated? All these requests. Please do something good for the channel, like, subscribe, at least become our subscriber. We have so many great books in our web shop, so do something good for the channel, support us. So many requests everywhere, I wanna play. Yeah, but I think we have to be supportive of each other. That's why as well we have the name VChess, so we try to be a community. Community should support each other. It cannot be one-sided, because just imagine how much time it takes to stream. It takes huge effort, yeah. It takes so much time, and in most of the cases this is just something that we all do voluntarily, so at least a little bit support from you guys would be, of course, great. Most of the channels online, most of the stream online is community based, yeah. So yeah, let's see now what we do next. We have here pin, so can we use the pin? Let's see how we can do it. I think I can play something like rook to e3, looking good. Maybe there is a move like bishop h6, so maybe let me take first, and then we try to be very strong on the e file, in case we can. Rook on e5 is maybe possible, so I think I should just take the pawn, because why not take the pawn? Pawn is hanging, we're taking the pawn. Still, we have this monster bishop on g2. Let's see how we can activate the bishop. I see in the chat some comment if I could have played bishop d5. Maybe I could have played at some moment, but I don't think it would lead immediately to a winning position, so I did not do that. I think we are currently doing very, very good. Pawn up. Oh, what is that? What is that? What is that? Is it working? Because rook e6, he wants to take, but we can of course move the rook somewhere. We have now rook to d1, simple solution. I think it's almost a deadly threat already on the e file. Also, we can play rook to b1. So rook to b1, attacking the queen. Queen has to go somewhere, and bishop is hanging. Also, this move, rook bishop h3, is looking very, very good. So we have a lot of different options here. Pawn is hanging on f2, so we should be a little bit careful not to miss queen takes f2, of course. I don't know if it's even a miss, because still white should be King h1, simple solution, and maybe it's even good enough, but of course, white to gives a pawn. White to gives a pawn. We should have here something very good, maybe f4. Some endgame. Do we want an endgame? It would be good to avoid the endgame because white to go for an endgame, we should be able to win the game, I think. How to win the game? Let's calculate. So let's go rook to d1. There is queen takes f2. King h1. Is there a way to avoid something on the e file? I think there is, because there is this queen b6, so we're not winning. Alright, let's go with a move f4, because I don't see a straight win. That's why I believe I should be patient with a move f4. Yeah, let's defend from the queen f2 area. White is doing better. We still have this unpleasant pressure on the e-file in case of queen b6 check. This endgame is looking very good for white, because we can simply win the pawn on b7, so it's at least pawn up. Maybe we can go for something more with a move bishop on h3. A rook f6 is going to be forced. So yeah, let's take. Bishop h3, let's calculate. A rook f6 only. Rook to e5. The idea is to double. Can black escape? So bishop f7 is the only move, so the rooks will be exchanged, and I'm not sure. I am not 100% convinced that this is a winning position. It's a good position, this for sure. I mean, there is no doubt that white is doing better, but is it a win? This is a question. I don't think it is a win, so we should change the strategy and maybe just to take the pawn, or immediately attack the b file. I don't know, not sure. Maybe just to take the pawn is looking good, so why not to take the pawn in case we can take the pawn? I would also advise you in your own games, in case you're not sure what to do, and you can take some material. So usually to take a material is a good idea in most of the cases, because it cannot be bad. So let's start with the reversed thinking. Not sure what is good. Let's play something that we're sure is not bad. What do we have here? We have a2, a little bit weak. Maybe a rook to e2. I think maybe. So let's go with a move rook to e2. I want to try to double on the e file. Rook defends upon an a2. So we have this kind of endgame that we want to play in a long run. What do we have here in the chat? I see some ideas. Good. Very nice to see that you are thinking together with me. That's nice. Of course, it's also very good for the learning effect. So to learn something, we have to think. Nice to see that you are in the game. Now, important moment. This rook endgame, is it a win or is it a draw? I don't know, because usually 3 pawns versus 2 pawns is a draw, so it might be a draw, so maybe we should not go for the rook endgame. We should keep the bishops on the board. So let's try to play, I don't know, rook, bishop a6 or bishop c8. What is the right way to continue? We have this problem here with a pawn on a2, so we're gonna have to put it on a3. So let's maybe go with a move bishop a6. The idea is to play bishop d3. g6 is weak. By keeping the bishops on the board, I think we are increasing the winning chances. Usually when you are doing better in an endgame, you should avoid the major changes in most of the cases, so that the defensive side should try to defend and try to change as much as possible. So now we continue with the strategy to put the bishop to a beautiful square. Now next step is to improve the position of the king. So this is very typical. Every endgame we should try to be as active as possible with the king in case we can. So unpleasant the pawn here. So rook c3 is coming eventually next. Not easy to win the game. Let's advance a little bit with our king, because in case of rook to c3 we have this king on d4. So this is good. Now let's go a3 because so annoying to have this pawn on here. And this was our idea. King on d4, rook to b1. We try to win the pawn on b6. I think that's it. He has missed the idea of rook to b1. Now the pawn on b6 cannot be defended yet. We just take it. The g6 pawn is also falling. And of course we have the idea of bishop c4. That's it. We won the game, but not an easy win. But I think strategically we've been doing very well. From the very early stage we had the better position. And slowly we advanced into an endgame with a pawn up. And finally won the game. So quite nice, quite nice. Alright, let's search for a new opponent because 3 games against the same, it's enough. Let's play someone else. Let's see who is going to be our new opponent. In case you like the stream, please like, subscribe. With this you help the channel. Of course, in case you want to support the channel, become a subscriber. Very appreciated. Or buy some nice chess book. We have many great chess books in our store as PDF for download, so cheap and easy. You get immediately the chess book. We are black, g3, and here there are many good moves. So c6 is the main move, knight f6 is the other main move. Let's play something which is quite crazy, h5. By the way, it's not so bad. I mean, it's quite bad. I would not advise you to play this in a classical chess game on a high level. It does not work, but in a rapid game online, so funny to play the move h5. Idea is so simple, we want to get h4. So, knight on f3, we continue with the move e4. Let's see where the knight is going. Wow, knight on h4. So, is it a good idea to put the knight on h4? After g5, the knight has knight f5 or knight on g2. Actually, very funny to play the move g5 because the knight will have to go back on g2 in case of knight f5. We have the move d5. I don't know if this is a good idea by white to put the knight on h4. Looks a bit weird to have the knight on h4, but it's a very playable position, obviously. So, should we go knight f6? Or should we immediately go crazy with a move g5? Because the last game been so positional, let's go crazy. g5, let's push. For the moment, 4 moves on the board, we play only pawn moves. In most of the cases, not the best idea ever. But online, it's fine. So let's go. Knight f5, d5. We activate the bishop. 5 moves, only pawn moves. Very rare situation in a chess game where the first moves are only pawn moves. So let's see. What do we have in the chat? Who is your opponent again? I don't know. I don't know my opponents. We are just playing random people that we're getting paired with. So, no idea who are the opponents. Knight on d4. Let's continue because I think it's so rare to have 6 out of 6 moves, just pawn moves. Crazy. Let's go with the move d4. We are advancing. What a pawn structure. So funny. Have you ever seen something like this? 7 moves out of 7 only pawns. Alright, now after the move d3, should we continue playing just with the pawns? This is crazy. I think, objectively speaking, we should just play the move knight f6, but because I think I never had this kind of situation where I just move with the pawns, let's see how many pawn moves maybe we can do at max. Should we play the move f5, but f5 is not the best. I mean, it looks like a bad move. This is a bit maybe too much to play. Knight f6, by the way, bishop g5, so we should not go knight f6. We have simple solutions, maybe just to take e3 also looks very interesting. h4 is looking very interesting. What should we do? What should we do here in this crazy position? But maybe we should just go for it. Let's go for it. 8 out of 8 moves only with the pawns. This is incredible. I don't remember a game I ever had where 8 out of 8 moves just pawn moves. It's too much. It's objectively too much, so I don't think my position is so good here. I think it's a very interesting position, but I am not sure how to evaluate that. Maybe it's okay, because we have so big space advantage. But 8 out of 8 moves, if something goes wrong here, I am just dead. On the other hand, if white cannot do something against my strong pawns in the center, I'm doing great with black. So knight c6, we developed our first piece on move 9. We have bishop g7 next, we have h4 as well, very, very interesting. We have g4 to close like everything, also very, very interesting. So white has to be now dynamic. In case white is not dynamic, I think the position of black is going to be dominant. Bishop g7 especially, so easy, so easy. Bishop g7, bishop on g2, yeah, making perfect sense. Of course, white has to develop the bishop. Now, should we go knight f6? White is gonna take bishop on g5 to sacrifice a pawn. Not sure. Should we play more conservative with a move queen e7, just trying to defend? Looks interesting, but we also have this idea here to play h4, take h3, g4, and then to take back on e4 to sacrifice a pawn on g4, maybe to play knight f6. Also looking very interesting to push the move h4. Looks good. To take on d3, also not a bad decision, because we have knight e5 with the tempo, so many good options. Let's go crazy with the move h4. I like it. Once we started something crazy, we should continue. So once you say A, you say B, and we just push. Let's see what we have in the chat. Someone in the chat needs new books, yeah. New books is always good. So yeah, let's see what is going to happen next. We have short castle. Okay, a little bit dangerous here with a rook against the white king. Can we do something unpleasant now to the white king? I think we should be able. Just how to start. Take and knight to e5 with a tempo, and then to take on g3. But why not to take immediately on g3? So I think we should take. fg, well, there's so big pressure on the pawn on h2. Not sure if white did the best white could. Still, d takes e4 is a serious threat, so we should do something against it. But somehow it feels that the position of black should be good here. Maybe we should take. Can I just take? Okay, let's try. Because queen takes, we have knight e5 with a tempo. Yeah, he's going for it. So knight e5 comes with a tempo, d3 coming next. All the white pieces here on the queen side, not perfectly positioned. Of course, black with zero development yet, except the knight on e5, but what a knight. So I try to block everything in the center. It gives me a little bit time for easy moves like knight f6, eventually knight g4. Going for the pawn on h2. Also, we have these ideas of long castle in a very long run. And of course, we have the idea of getting the queen a bit more active. Queen on d8, not doing much. It would be great to have the queen somewhere, h6, with a bit of luck. So this would be a checkmate. Queen on b3, very logical play by white. So we advance. As we spoke, we have to close the center, of course. In case the center would get open, this would be not so good for black. So we keep the center closed. There is going to be knight c3, knight on d5 coming next. Quite unpleasant. Knight on e1, well, quite passive. So let's take the knight into the game. Knight f6. I'm not afraid of moves like bishop on b7 because I can just simply take. It's going to be probably a checkmate. very, very soon. So white has to be active. The only chance of white here is to be very, very active. In case of knight on c3, I believe there is d2. So knight on c3, not passable yet. My next move, bishop d6. Maybe knight on g4 and trying to get to the h2 pawn. As well, interesting, g4. So the knight on e1 is never getting back into the game. Knight on d2, what is the idea of white? Maybe to play the move e4, but is it good play? Not so sure. Maybe white wants to get knight on f3. This is quite possible. To get rid of my beautiful knight on e5. This could be quite a decent idea. Now, can we go g4? Is it time to play g4? I like it, so let's try. I'm not sure it's actually a good move, but bishop d6 also looking very good here. I don't know which one is the best. Let's try something fun in g4. So we play against a knight on d2. The idea g4, very simple. All the white pieces here somehow not doing well, so I try to avoid the move knight f3, after which the pawn on d3 might fall. We play just safe. g4. Next bishop d6, next queen e7, and followed by queen to h7. It would win the game. If white finds nothing, then most probably we're going to win the game by putting pressure on the pawn h2. So this is what we wanted already for quite a while. So let's take a look if white can somehow get active. This kind of pieces are so poorly placed, so not easy for white to develop something. Our idea, queen from d8 to h7 and pressure against the h2 pawn. White can maybe play something like a rook f2, bishop f1, but it looks very slow. So it's a very, very slow play. Now we see the move queen c3. Yeah, makes sense to be good on the diagonal. With the black pieces, is it time to sacrifice a pawn on d3 and just go for eventually this checkmate here on h7? Not bad, not bad. As well, we can play simple move queen on d6, which is also looking not bad at all. Probably the idea of white b3 followed by bishop b2, but quite slow. So queen on d6 looks like quite a nice idea, I believe. We have to decide. Queen e7, take, queen to h7, attacking the pawn on h2. Looks very good. It looks like a great position, so which one should I play here? I don't know. I don't know what is better. Hard to tell, because it feels like in both cases we're just doing so well. Maybe queen on d6 actually, because a bit more safe. Bishop g7 is just so strong. And with queen on d6 also we're getting ready eventually to castle longside, so we help a little bit. e4 makes sense. Of course white tries to get the counterplay, but what I thought is that I can go bishop g7 here. Maybe actually we should take first, or should we not? I don't know if I should take maybe bishop g7. So bishop against the queen on c3. We should be able now to have some tactics, I believe. Also, just a short castle is looking quite nice, because we are so dominant now. But it should be somehow a forced win by feeling. I mean, the white pieces are not perfectly placed, so I think we should have something. I just don't see how to make it. Maybe start with a move bishop on d7 with the idea bishop on c6. Is it enough to win the game? It looks not bad. So let's try. Let's try. I don't know. Feels I should have something better. Maybe just knight here with the idea of knight of 3, but there is knight on e4, so not like 100%. Let's go bishop d7 as promised. Eventually long castle with a checkmate, or we're gonna do short castle. So I still not sure. One of those. Long castle, short castle, both looking very, very nice. And bishop c6 obviously is powerful because here the king on g1, pawn on g4, so good. Knights are at the moment not in the game, so the position is looking very, very promising. I should have some tactics, I'm quite sure in that. Sorry. Just we have to choose the right moment. So I see the question in the chat, where do I play Rapid? Because I think it's nicer for you guys, it's more educational content in case I play Blitz or... Okay, Bullet makes, in my opinion, absolutely no sense. Blitz is nice as well, but I think Rapid is better. So, let's see. Bishop c6 straight away, or first long castle to have full development. What is better? Let's go. Long castle. Probably we're gonna see bishop f4. I guess this is the next move of white. Maybe actually I should have gone knight e4, knight takes f3. Yeah, I could have won the game instantly, I guess. Long castle. Okay, solid play, but not the best. I could have played knight e4, knight f3. Alright, no problem. We have missed, I think, a direct win, but still, the position of black is very promising here. Great pawn, king safety, bishop c6, monster bishop on g7. All of this is looking good. A little bit low on time, so I have to focus more now. Less comments, more play. Also, we have a very nice line here. Take, queen takes d3. We play bishop d4, check, king gets to h1, and knight on g3. So a nice win. This is a next threat. So knight a5, very aggressive play. Let's take the bishop because I don't understand. Knight f3 check is coming next. What white wants to do against it? Is there a defense? At the moment, white can take the pawn on b7, but we have the knight e2 check. I think that's it. That's it. A very interesting game. And first moves, just pawn moves. I think first 8 moves with it, just with the pawns. But yeah. He takes. Alright, let's give a check on e2. Queen is hanging here, so black is completely winning. Our queen is under attack, but we can simply play, I think, queen on b6 or even something better. Do we have something better? I don't know if we have something better, but it's enough to win the game. So let's go queen on b6. Rook on h2, so he is trying to go for an endgame, having a full piece down. Well, it means it's game over, so no problem. You want an endgame piece down? Let's play an endgame piece down. Rook f5. I guess I should have something better, but again, once you have so little time on the clock, I think it makes sense to play simple moves to win the game. Let's continue with a move. I don't know. What should I do here? So many winning options that I got confused. Okay, let's take. Why not? And let's take. So we win some material. Piece up for black. Should be a winning position. Just right now we have a bullet game, basically. 50 seconds for us, 40 seconds now for him. Rook on g1. Okay, so Let's win more material. By being low on time, I think it's not a bad idea just to take everything away, whatever you can. So this is what we are doing. White almost no pieces left. Still, we have to be careful because so little time on the clock. So let's give a check. Let's go away just to be sure that nothing ugly happens. And let's just give some checks because I don't see how to win the position immediately. Let's go here. Very low on time, so we should not panic. Just be careful and it should be enough to win the game. So we win some material, we give a check. Is it not a checkmate somewhere? Still no checkmate, unbelievable. How is it possible that we don't have a checkmate? Okay, let's just win more material. Okay, so this game we should be able to win it normally, but let's not be careful not to get, yeah, finally a checkmate. When it comes to seconds, and of course everything is possible, but yeah. Nice game, very interesting game. Let's check the game, by the way, the first moves of the game. This is the most funny moment. So, crazy game. We play this crazy move h5, and we attack, we attack, we attack. 5 moves with just upon 6 moves. 7, 8. Okay, now finally we develop a piece. The first 8 moves we played with pawns, and finally managed to win the game. Yeah, very interesting game. Funny, also quite funny. Very rare case where you're just playing the first 8 moves with the pawns, but all the moves been with a tempo. So yeah. Let's see in the chat what we have here. I could have won something earlier, yeah, probably I could. Of course. By the way, we have a challenge for the next game, so let's go. Let's start this time with the move d4, and once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying the stream. So yeah. In case you don't like, subscribe, of course. This would help the channel to grow. In the current game, we start with d4, c4, and I see in the chat somebody called VT Alien played 17 moves with a pawn. Okay, I can also play 17 moves with a pawn, just I'm gonna lose the game. To play 17 moves is not very difficult, but it's difficult to be in a nice spot after playing 17 moves with a pawn. If I ever played Gotham chess, no, we never faced each other because on top level tournaments he could never play because he has never been a very strong chess player on the board. So we had no tournaments where we could face each other. And online, I'm not playing online, that's why I don't think I ever played him. Maybe during the stream we have played Gotham chess, but no idea. I don't think so. Okay, let's come back to the current game. What we have here is a typical King's Indian setup here. We have this kind of slightly better positions for white, like very little better, maybe even too little better. This is a critical position, by the way. White has 2 options: to take on d4, and the next option is to play knight takes d5, queen d5. Now very important, bishop on e3. This is crucial. And this position's also slightly better for white, very small. So let's go with a move knight on d4. probably we will see knight c3, b takes c3, this is normal. And here we have this monster bishop on g2. This is why white is hoping to be slightly better in all these kind of positions. It's never much, but sometimes it can be a little. Queen on b3, quite typical, so let's go for it. Nicely placed. Queen usually will go to a3, or we play with the move bishop a3, rook fd1, and then we try with knight on b5 to be a little active. As well, we try to usually prevent black from prevent black from easy development, so we put the pressure on the b7 pawn. These are the main ideas for white. So rook d1, knight on b5, pressure on the b7 pawn. Also bishop here, putting some pressure on e7, so these are the usual cases. Let's see what we have in the chat. Favorite opening? I don't know, I like to play Sicilian. I played so many games with white and black on the Sicilian. Also with the black pieces, my main repertoire usually was to play the Berlin defense with black, so I like to play the Berlin. I think it's a great opening. Also very, very interesting. It looks boring, but I think it's interesting. So yes, but I think chess is not about the opening, so opening does not really matter. Just try to play good chess, just try to enjoy, and the rest is not so important. The first moves not playing a big difference, except you're playing at the very, very top of the chess world. Then it plays a difference, but we are not. Obviously, we are not, because in case you play at the very top, you would stream rarely, or for sure you would not watch a stream. So, what we have here, black is defending the pawn on b7, is making sense. Can we play the move knight to b5? This is what actually was the plan of white, maybe. Also we have interesting move bishop d5. Yes, this is what I like so much. I think a very, very good move bishop on d5 there. Let's go with it. Pressure on f7. And we try to get e6, because then knight on b5 is so powerful. So we see the move e6. Now we have to think if we go knight b5 immediately, because I think we should. Knight getting to d6. Yeah, bishop d5. This is a monster move. So let's take a look. We can go back, but also we have this knight on d6 move, no? Knight on d6 is looking very good. Rook under attack. So is there a defense? I don't know. Let's try. Knight d6. Rook. Is there a way to defend this position for black? I think not so easy already. Of course, position is more or less unclear, but white should be doing a little better. I think we're doing well, yeah. The move bishop d5, it was a good move. It was a good move. Now we might be able to achieve advantage. Just simply to go back or to go back. Where to put the bishop? I don't know. I don't know. Both is looking not bad at all, because I don't see a way to win the game instantly. There are some ideas, but I don't think that I can win the game on the spot. So which move should I play? Maybe I should take first. Maybe I should not. How to know if I should take or I should not take? Okay, let's go back bishop f3, because it's a bit conservative, but for sure not a bad move. Bishop f3, we just go back, we continue having this pressure on the pawn b7, looks very decent. If queen b3, take, rook to c1, and we have this huge pressure. So looks decent. Maybe we had some tactic, I don't know. I saw the tactic here was a bishop on d5. I could have taken on b7, but it's like not 100% obvious to me because it might lead to nothing, so I didn't want to play that. Bishop f3. Safety first. Safety first is not a bad idea. So yeah. I see in the chat, teach Sicilian. Well, to teach Sicilian it's gonna take many years of work. To play well the Sicilian takes a huge effort, absolutely huge effort. One of the most complex positions that you can see is of course Sicilian, because the game is getting so sharp and so many different ways of playing the Sicilian. Attacking ideas, defensive maneuvers, positional play. Sicilian has it all, so very hard opening to understand and to play it well. Also, there was a funny story because Kramnik, during his best years, he was a d4 player and he had absolutely huge preparation after the move d4. He switched to e4 for a couple of moves and a couple of games, and he played the Sicilian, I think, 2-3 times with white, and actually he lost 1 or 2 games from this 3, and Kramnik was losing maybe 1 game per year. So he quitted to play e4 because he didn't like the move c5, so he didn't want to face Sicilian. Sicilian is something that you have to feel, even for a top player, it's very difficult to switch to Sicilian in case you never played the Sicilian. Alright, let's check. Our opponent is taking the queen, so endgame. Let's play the endgame now. Do we have some tactics with knight f5? Take, it's not a checkmate. So we have also a nice tactic here with a move knight e4, no? Knight e4, so take is forced. We take, the next move is rook to d8. Looks very good. Maybe it's just winning, no? Knight e4. Does it win? Is it a win to play here? The move knight to e4, it looks like a win, so let's try. Knight on e4. Attacking the bishop on c3. If the rook d1, rook to d1. Rook to d8. Black suffers because of this bishop on c8, and this is the whole idea of the opening. So in case you play Catalan with white, everyone I guess knows the main problem of Catalan with black is the bishop on c8, or in case you're white, you are playing against the bishop on c8. So the problem remains for all the Catalan structures. In case you don't get out the bishop from c8, you're basically done. So bishop a5, I think we have now bishop on d6, which is winning. Also, we have many ways here to win the game. We can play bishop on b2 also, this is looking completely winning. Rook d1, then we have this knight f6 coming next, or bishop e5. So we have a winning position in my opinion. But why not to win the game immediately? I think bishop on d6 and that's it. Rook on b8 is hanging. Bishop on a5 is under attack. That's it. He resigns. So yeah, this was a nice game, but our opponent made it a bit easy for us. I think he could have played more solid, but all in all, nice game, nothing to complain about. Let's go with the next one. Let's see who is going to be our next opponent. So, the question is, what about Hikaru Nakamura? He posts a lot of YouTube videos. Yeah, he's doing it professionally, obviously. Everyone knows Hikaru. So, I don't understand your question. You mean that he's a top chess player and he's doing YouTube, but he's almost not playing classical chess. So Hikaru is not very active. Hikaru is doing professionally YouTube. We have a very rare move A3. I don't know what's the point of the move A3, so let's continue with the move E6. B4, no, he does not want to give us a pawn. So knight C6. B4. So finally he gives us the pawn on B4. Should we take it and probably go into some insane theory line, which is for sure bad for white, but it's just tricky. But okay, I don't get the point of that, so let's just take the pawn, because why not? Very difficult not to take the pawn when you can just take the pawn. D5, what is the point for white? E5, alright. So, obviously, black is doing great in this position. Maybe white has some counterplay, but all in all, this position is better for black. This opening is not a very serious opening. Playable, yeah, but black is doing better. So, how we can develop the knight from G8? We can play simple knight H6 or H5, knight H6. Also here to play the move F5, very possible, because in case white takes, we develop the knight. And in case white is not taking, then we're just basically pawn up, yeah? Pawn up for nothing. So, there's also idea of playing F6, nothing wrong with the move F6. Many options here for black. We can start with the move bishop D7 just to be as solid as possible, so also this is good. Yeah, we have like a French structure just with a pawn up. So let's go with the move F5 maybe, just to close everything. Pawn up for black. It should be a good position. Maybe white has some little counter chances, but all in all, it must be good for black. Bishop on D3. He is not taking on F6. So bishop on D3. I think it's like you're admitting that probably to sacrifice a pawn was not the best decision ever. Still, we have to develop the knight. Knight H6 is possible. Probably white is going to take on H6, but of course this position is a good position for black. It's not a mistake to play knight H6, and I think I'm gonna play it knight H6 because I like knight H6, knight F7 idea, so white probably has to take on H6. I don't think white has something better. And long run, we're gonna have a bishop pair, plus, no, he does not take, alright. So knight F7, but in white case, I think white should take on H6. Not to take, be a pawn down, long run, basically white is lost, so the only chance of white is to be like extremely fast with your dynamic play, but where to push? How can you push against structure F5, E6, D5? Almost impossible. So thank you for the nice comment to Flux Edits. Yes, we try to have an educational chess channel, so yes, we do educational streams, even in shorts or during the streams. We are about educational chess content. As well, we try to be very objective, so we don't try to promote a very bad move like extremely exciting sacrifice and actually just complete stupidity. We don't do this kind of things on VChess channel because I think it's just nonsense. Maybe some people think it's funny, but for a grandmaster, and I am a grandmaster since a very long time, for a grandmaster to see a very stupid sacrifice, which is just getting clicked because of a good name. Yeah, this is just a sad story, so we're not doing this kind of things. We try to be objective. We try to give you a chess content that makes you a better chess player. This is what we do on our channel. Let's come back to the game. Still, full pawn up. No obvious compensation for white. Usually it's good to have the knight on a5, so this is probably what we're gonna do next. We play the move b6, next is knight a5. close the rook, plus pressure on the c file. There is no attack at the moment on the king side because how to attack. Bishop a6, not the most dangerous move ever. Knight a5 is coming next. I don't see any kind of compensation for white in case black is not missing something, so we have to be careful. Tactics is always something that we have to be aware of. Knight a5, I think no big blunder by me, we're gonna win the game because it's just such a good position. So knight on d2, well, it's standard. Finally white as well develops, but what's next for black here? Let's play strategically. Let's take first and play the move queen e7. White can play, of course, rook a1, but it's a pressure against nothing because there is a knight on a5. So we are not afraid of that. And we can start actually now the play for black on the king side. We can also be just solid on the queen side. So moves like bishop c8 is a good move to change the bishop here. Not a bad idea. Also we have ideas like knight e8, knight c6. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Many good ideas, but maybe we should start with the move g5. So because we are so safe on the queen side, we can start doing something on the king side. Let's think, what could be the play by white? Maybe something like knight on b3, try to change the knight and then to put the pressure against the a7 pawn, but also this is taking forever. So there is basically no great play that white can do. I think it's time to push with the move g5. So we're doing safe, pawn up, everything is protected. Black's position is beautiful. So why not to push a little bit here, advance, queen on d3. Okay, so we can even try moves already like g4. Maybe it's a bit too early to push the move g4, but looks also very good to play g4. There is another idea to play f4, then to play knight on d8, bishop e8, bishop on g6. Very good to have the bishop on g6. Maybe also knight h6 immediately is not bad with the idea queen g7 and then try to give a checkmate actually. Many good options, very many good options. Which one to choose? I think knight h6, maybe not so bad. Queen on g7 and g4. So we are strong on the queen side. We are very good now on the king side. Let's push. c4. Good move by white. Maybe I could have prevented actually the move c4 because it gives a little bit of counterplay to white. But alright, bishop on c6 looks like a decent play, or take. I don't know, let's go with the move bishop on c6, I think. Very solid. Probably c5 is a move to be played, but now we're gonna get the move g4 done. So we're starting to push on the king side. As you can see, the position of the rook on c7, beautiful position. Queen is gonna go somewhere and then the rook is gonna join the game. Also, we have the sacrifice knight c4. So knight c4, if knight takes, we have dc and then the bishop is getting so powerful. That's why I think the position of black is beautiful. Let's continue with our plan. Queen on g5 now. Looks like a good decision. Rook on g7 next, or rook to f7. So it's getting quite nice. Let's see in the chat. I see, a bit surprised to see short castle. Yeah, but I think it's quite standard idea. It's not like it's very unusual play by black. I think we are playing quite standard chess. To be honest, nothing very spectacular, just solid moves. Let's continue. Rook to g7, or should we take and rook g7? Is it time to play knight c4? Also looking very good. So what should I do here? Let's go with the move rook to g7. It just feels so good to have here the pressure on the G file. Of course, we should not forget, his rook is also on A3, so in theory, he can try to defend with the rook G3 idea. But I think that we should be doing very good here. To take with a knight or to take with a pawn? Both is looking nice, so many good options here. Maybe to take with a knight or with a pawn. I don't know, hard to tell. Both is good. Knight or... Okay, let's go with a knight. Let's be a bit more active to play f take g4, of course. Also a very good continuation. Next move, knight c4. So knight c4 is so powerful. If white is gonna take on c4, this is probably going to be a checkmate. So knight c4, this is what we want to play next. In case of knight takes, queen takes, is it a win? It looks like a win. So rook g7, queen g5, yeah, the black pieces are so nicely placed, there is no counter. Knight on f3. Okay, so queen h6, no, this is what I wanted, but maybe there is some kind of checkmate that I don't see. Okay, let's go. Let's go with the move queen to h6. And next move is gonna be knight on c4, so he wants to change. Yes, this makes sense. Let's go with the move f4. No change of queens, obviously, because we're playing for a checkmate. White to change when we want to give a checkmate. Also here, we have this nice rook f5 followed by rook h5. It would be just immediate game over. Yeah, this is looking very, very good. Knight here, time to play knight c4. Or, by the way, we have immediately a win. We can take, rook takes, f3, knight takes. It's a win or not yet? Not yet. It's not yet a win. So let's go here, knight on c4. Probably take, we take. So look at this bishop now. Look at the bishop. This is a monster. It's not a bishop, it's a beast. Rook takes a7. I should be able to give a checkmate. How is it possible that we cannot checkmate here? How to checkmate? No immediate checkmate. This is a bit strange. So let's take. This looks like the right decision. Let's take, because he has to take with a king. There is nothing else. We should be able to win this position. Maybe just a simple king h8 is winning now. Or there is a defense. I don't see a defense against rook to g8. Maybe I should have taken king h8. Yeah, this would be more exact to take first and then king h8. But maybe it just makes no difference. So, is there defense against rook to g8 next? Let's see. Let's see if our opponent can find a defense. Okay, let's go rook to g8, and now how to defend the pawn on g2. Is there something that white can do to defend the pawn on g2? I think queen on g5, and that's it. Queen g5. That's it. So, black is winning. We have very little time on the clock, but it should be enough to win the game. So, bishop takes g2. And win. Okay, all in all, interesting game. I think strategically we played very, very well. Welcome everyone to the chat who is new. And I hope you're enjoying the rapid games, you're enjoying my comments. Let's play the next game. We have the same opponent. We played him already so many games, and we're faced once again against the guy. So, Sicilian defense, knight c3, f4. Usually this is a good opening against d6, not against knight on c6. Now g6 is powerful. This opening is not very good for white because I play e6, followed by knight e7. f5, immediate f5. Is it a good idea? Looks a bit weird. So knight e7 was the idea of playing d5? Take. Okay, but what's the point of this? I can take with a pawn, or I can take with the f pawn. D or f, both is looking like a very good position for black. I don't know. Should I take with a d pawn, or should I take... I think I should take with a d pawn, but also f pawn is looking completely fine. So this is a bit hard to understand. What is the sense of this opening? But maybe we're going to see the main idea for white. At the moment, I don't see the main idea, because I believe this position is just a good position for black. Usually the idea is to play queen e1, queen h4, but it does not work here. So maybe just simple king h8 idea. Maybe knight d4. Okay, let's play solid. And we can see how fast our opponent is making the moves, why he's playing so fast. I don't know why, because I think that black has excellent position here. We have more space. Simple king h8 followed by f5 is looking very, very good. We have also the option of playing knight e5, knight on g4. Very weird opening by white, because I don't understand the concept of this opening. Okay, let's go king h8 followed by f5, e5, and I think black is just much better. Very strange opening. Hard to understand what is the key idea of this opening. Alright. Welcome everyone in the chat. In case you have some chess questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. I will be happy to answer. Of course, in case I can, because I try to play, I try to comment everything simultaneously. Sometimes not so easy. But most of your questions I will be happy to answer. And in case you like our educational channel VChess, please like, subscribe. Obviously, this is too obvious not to do that. Let's go with the move f5. So we act according to the plan. f5. Not sure if I should actually play immediately the move f5, but on the other hand, why not to play f5? So let's go for it. Idea of f5 pretty easy. Next move e5 and try to be better. Maybe I should have played, by the way, e5 first, but okay. To take rook, pawn, g pawn. Every pawn is a good pawn, so let's take with the e takes f5. Next move is for sure knight e5, knight on g4. This is where we want to go next. I think the position of black is just better. We have here nice pawn. Knight is getting to e5. Also, we can advance at some moment here. Many ideas for black. Very many ideas what to play next. And with the white pieces, it's already not so easy, because bishop is... Where to go with the bishop on d2? Well, yeah, of course it's possible, but is it what white is hoping for from the opening? I don't think so. So bishop on f4, it's a provocation for g5, f4, but maybe we should just get provoked, because I don't see why not. So let's go. g5, next move is f4. Knight on e2 is really poorly placed. So a bit strange provocation, except there is some tactic, but I don't see tactics here. I think we can just play the move f4 next, and I think the position of black is beautiful. So a bit strange play by white. It's not because of the tactics, it's just what is the concept of white. Every opening has some kind of idea behind it, and here it's a little bit difficult for me to understand the idea of white to play something like that. And it's straight from the opening. I mean, straight bishop c4, straight f5, then he took on e6, and now we have this kind of position. But why is it such a good play for white? I cannot understand it. let me read the chat for a little bit. Always we have here very common question: how to improve in case you're 1400. Just do a lot of tactics and for sure you are going to improve. The next question is if I'm still actively playing. I'm playing just very little bit, very little, just sometimes, but yeah. You remember my games. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Still, some people do remember me playing with the big guys. Thanks for that. Again, welcome to everyone in the chat. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're enjoying the games, you're enjoying my comments. I hope as well that it makes you a little bit better chess player. And yeah, please like, subscribe. This is too obvious not to do. It would help us very much growing, and in case you're enjoying our content, I think we deserve that. In case you're searching for some nice books, visit our web shop. We have nice books for a straight download in PDF. I think easy and useful. So, chess educational material. I see the question in the chat, how to think like me. I don't know how to think. We are all different, so you have your own way of thinking. But in general, in case you want to become a strong chess player, I would always advise you try to think logical. So most of the games are very logical. Develop the pieces, try to attack when you can, try to defend when you have to. Don't make some kind of particular setup. This game, I am attacking for sure. This kind of things are just wrong because we never know how the game is gonna go. So attack when you have to, defend when you have to. So now we have, for example, here a sacrifice of a piece. So we have to defend because white is gonna try to attack the king a little bit, because obviously if there is no attack, then the game is just immediately game over. What could be the idea of white? Queen h5, maybe. Some pressure because of the beta development, maybe, but I don't think it is enough compensation for white being a piece down. So perhaps we just have to be solid, and that's enough to win the game. Bishop d7 looks quite decent because we just developed bishop, and why not to do that? Bishop f5 also looks very good with a simple idea. Queen d7 next. Yes, I like that. So bishop f5, I think it's a good continuation. Very safe. We put the bishop eventually to g6, or we play the simple queen on d7. Very solid. All right. Online, you cannot become a grandmaster. There are no norms. I see a question. You became a grandmaster, I was 15 years old. How much time I spent on chess? Of course, I was spending a lot of time on chess, but not as much as the professional chess players currently, because I had the usual school. As you know, most of the current young talents, or even guys who are now 20, 25, they've never been to school. So the top chess players never visited school, and I had the usual day of someone. So I woke up, I went to school, and after the school I did some chess training. Yeah. Okay, what do we have here? Still a piece up for white, so no major changes here. We're doing very well. 6 minutes versus 4:30. Also the time is good. Next move could be rook e1. We're gonna change the rooks. Piece up, so every endgame should be close to winning. So yeah. I see again the question, what are the norms for being GM online? There are no norms for that. GM online does not exist. This is not a real title. Okay, what do we have? Change of rooks. Not a bad idea because we are a piece up. Let's go for it. Now we have two options. Take with the queen, aim for more change or over the f file. Yeah, this is looking good. But then there is this bishop on d6, so maybe we should not give him opportunity. Let's take with the rook. Eventually bishop on g6 or bishop on e6, more changes. There is bishop g4, putting rook to e2, also very, very good. So we are close to win the game. In the chat, you could try to be a little bit more active, trying to think for yourself what would you do next, because then the learning effect is just getting much, much better. So try to think for yourself, how would you play next? What are the ideas of white? What are the ideas of black? Of course, you can watch the stream like a movie, but I would advise you to be more active for yourself, because then you're just learning. Then the learn effect is getting so good. You think, what would you do? You see what we are playing, and then you compare your thoughts. So you think, oh, here maybe my thought been not perfect, maybe I can improve on the way I'm thinking. So it's not everything again about the tactics. Of course, you must be tactically sharp not to make a big mistakes, but strategy. So strategically, I think during the stream you can learn a lot, because you compare your ideas, you see what happens on the board, so you're learning a lot. Yeah, so great way. When I was younger, we had no streams, we had no nothing, and it was so difficult to become better, because how to get access to some information, training with a GM, it was always something very special. There have been not so many GMs, so it was difficult to improve. Now it's so easy. All right, let's have the pin, because we're aiming for exchanges. Let me see the commentary. What is good age to start for a kid to play chess? I think there is no perfect age, but I believe that if you start young, it's always a good idea. So start young. I think kids can play chess already on a decent level by being even 6, 7, 8 years old. So you can start very, very young. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I guess here comes the last move of the current game, because we have the spin, we are in endgame, and with the move g5, we're winning the second piece. It is too much. I guess it is game over, yeah. So our opponent resigns the game. All in all, I think a solid game by us, but a strange opening by our opponent. Let's go with the next game. Yeah, welcome. Nice comment by not yet GM. Maybe one day you will become a GM, but it's not easy. You have to work very hard to become a GM. Welcome to everyone in the chat. I hope you're enjoying the live stream. We are playing some rapid games. We try to understand what is happening on the chessboard. We try to enjoy chess. So our company VChess, it's community based. We try to give you nice chess content. We try, of course, to have a friendly chess content. We don't do politics. We don't do some kind of shorts or something like blunder by this guy, blunder by that guy. This is not the content what we want to produce. We try to produce friendly and, of course, positive chess content, because I don't like personally to see people who would have 0 out of 1,000 games against GMs having videos with obvious mistake, blunder, blah blah blah, because it just feels so wrong. Someone that would literally have 0 points out of 1,000 games commenting with big words, it's not the way to go. So here on VChess, we focus on objective chess content, and of course, in a positive and friendly way. Let's go. We have King's Indian setup against e3, knight of 3, a bit passive, in my opinion, play by white. So this setup is, of course, playable, but white is not aiming for a better play, or let's say for an opening advantage, maybe this is a correct way to say it. c5, let's play against the center of white. The bishop is not perfect on c1. Still, obviously, white is having a decent position, so white is not worse or something like that. And d5, so we try to get this isolated pawn on d4 and try to capture it later. Knight on c3, so should we take or should I play first the move bishop g4, first knight on c6? Everything is possible. Maybe let's go with the move bishop g4. It feels good to have this pin. Maybe we can try to get to the d4 pawn. Let's see. Take. Okay, so we can take it back, no? We can simply take it back. I don't see why not. So let's do it. And bishop e4. Ooh, what is that? e6? Or do we have something better than e6 and the current position? e6 is very solid. It's very, very solid, but yeah, I think I should go just with a simple move e6. Okay, let's go with the move e6. Maybe I should not play bishop g4. Yes, this was not the best, because now there is this queen on b3, and maybe this is just a draw. I don't know, because take knight on c6, or maybe knight c6 immediately. Okay, h3, I have to take. Queen takes, knight on c6. He's gonna take on d5. I'm gonna take on d4. Oh, bishop takes. Okay, after bishop takes, we have knight on c6. So this is just completely equal. Yeah, this is a completely equal play. Maybe I should have done something else because it's too much equal. And of course, we want to have a funny position. But bishop e3 is not the best. Now I can take. And this is actually a very playable position, opposite color bishops, but the pawn structure is not perfect. So still, position should be approximately equal, but I believe that only black can play here for a win. He gives us a tempo to get the knight on c4, so obviously we do that. Queen on b3, not the best. To let the knight on c4 feels like why you do that with the white pieces. The knight is gonna be so powerful here on c4. Queen b5. What happens if I play a6? Queen goes to d3 probably. If I go knight c4 immediately, is there a way to take a pawn on b7? But it's so dangerous. It feels like it's so dangerous for white to take the pawn on b7. I don't think it's gonna work. But also to play a6 feels good. So I don't know. Let's go knight c4. Let's go knight c4 because we have so many ideas here. Simple idea to take. Then we have idea a6 somewhere. We might even try to trap the white queen. Many good options for black in the current position. I think that this move queen to b3, this was a big mistake. It was a very serious mistake by my opponent. Now it's difficult. Not easy to play this position with the white pieces. So let's take a look what white can do against the move knight to e3, rook to e1. Is this really a defense or it just a decoy of a defense? Bishop h6 looks quite powerful because I don't see a good way to defend the pawn on e3. How actually to defend the pawn on e3? As well, to play first a6, white has to take on b7. And now we have moves as queen on g5, attacking the pawn, or maybe rook b8. Maybe the sacrifice might work already. Looks like a very good position for black. Very good one. So let's take a look what we do next. It's too tempting to play this move. It is just so tempting to put the bishop to h6. I think knight on d1 is like one of the only options for white, but it looks horrible. Or maybe first to play the move h6 to provoke queen b7, because afterwards we have so many different options to play with black. So what we do? Maybe a6. Maybe also just rook c7. Also, this is looking like a huge position for so many options. Yeah, this is the problem when you have so many options. Like, what are you playing? Okay, let's be practical. What could be the most practical decision in the current position? Maybe bishop h6, because knight d1 is looking so bad. This move cannot be a good move now. To put the knight on d1, maybe afterwards there's some b3 play, but it just looks so bad. On the other hand, it feels like black should have a direct win, but I don't see it. I don't see a direct win. Maybe just to play b6, just to fix everything and slow win. Is this the best that black can do in the current position? Slow play. It should be something more than that. I just don't see how to win immediately, so yes. Okay, let's go. Let's go with the move a6. I like it. Let's stop thinking. Let's just decide on the move a6. Maybe not the best, but I don't think it's a bad decision. Queen b7 is sort of forced because there is nothing else. Yes, he's taking the pawn as we expected, and I wanted to go queen a5. So many threats. So first of all, we want to catch the queen at some moment. Knight on b2 somewhere, knight on e3 somewhere, queen on b3. Just a passive defense, but is it working to defend like this? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So here we can take, but this is not a win. I cannot win the game immediately, and this is really bad luck. So let's go with the move bishop on h6. How to defend the pawn? Is there a defense? Knight on e4. Defending the pawn on e3 with a queen. Still not a win for black, yeah. Incredible. There is no way to win this position. I saw that I should have something, but somehow I don't see a win. There is eventually knight c5 coming next, and after knight to c5, I am not gonna win the game, this is certain. So I should be doing here something quick, but what is it? I don't see how to win this position. Maybe it's time to go back, but this is not good what I'm doing. This is not good at all. Maybe queen on b5, but it feels very sad to play moves like queen on b5. Okay, let's go back because I don't see what to do, but then the simple move like rook d1, and still we have nothing. So yes, I don't see how to continue here. With the black pieces, we should have something, but I don't see how to do that. Okay, let's go queen on b5 because we have to be careful. I don't see a smart decision. There should be something, but I just cannot find it. Now we try to get to the e3 pawn. There is some check knight g4 idea. Yeah. This is not looking that great. I believe black is fine, but we had a very good position, and now it's a fight. It's not so easy anymore. We have knight f6 check as expected. Okay, let's go to g7. we will play some endgame. So should I take and give up on the bishop, or should I play bishop g5? In both cases, I think it's okay for black, but maybe bishop g5 actually. Because we have this h5 idea, still we try to get to the e3 pawn, but position should be approximately equal, I believe, because there is a defense. There should be a defense. Hard to imagine that white has no defense against h5. And in case there is a defense, position should be approximately equal, I believe. But let's see. Let's see what happens next. h5 is the idea. Knight on b2, theoretical possibility. If it's possible to win this position with black, I'm not sure, but I believe we are not doing worse. So we have the draw in case we want the draw. I think I should just take it, no? Take on e3, or to play the move h5, both. Take b2 is also not bad, but I think we should take on e3. Because the white king is going to be so poorly placed, and as we know, opposite color bishops always very dangerous. So bishop f4 now. Let's think a little bit how to play in this position. To take is not the best. Yeah, bishop f4 is looking good. Because g3 we're gonna take, he takes, he still plays the move g3. Okay, so let's go for it. Now we have possibility of getting the knight on d5, very powerful, or to play knight h6, knight f5 also looking quite powerful. So where to put the knight? Let's start with the move knight f6. Okay, let's go with the move knight f6. Then we're gonna play rook on c2, but in best case we should keep 2 rooks on the board. It would be quite important for black to keep 2 rooks on the board. f4 is hanging, because in case I go rook c2, there is rook e2. I didn't want to change the pair of rooks, so in best case we keep the rooks on the board because the king is bad. In case we take the pawn on f4, I don't know how to evaluate positions like that. Of course, white is very dangerous here with the a-pawn. But we have some decent chances, plus we have this monster knight on d5. So, very complicated position to be evaluated. Hard to say who is doing better here. I think it's gonna be a dynamic game, so it's gonna be like who is faster. Now we should not change, so we should go rook to b8, I guess. a4, probably, because there is, I don't think, something else. So we take the pawn, and we see what happens next. 1 pawn collected. Let's see if we can collect maybe the next pawn on d4. Can we? Or it's not possible. Rook on c4. A bit strange play by my opponent, because I think we should be doing well now. Rook on d5 looks a bit weird to put the rook there. But I think I can just sacrifice, but maybe it's a bad move what I did. Let's see. Let's see how game develops. We have here the idea, but maybe just to play first rook f5, because we keep the knight d5 idea. Also, we can sacrifice always the exchange. So many options here for black. How to proceed in this position? Rook f5 is looking like a good piece. So it's not bad to have the rook there. At the moment, he cannot advance on the b file, which is obviously good. And maybe to play h6, g5 next to secure the position on a 4 for the knight. So we have a monster knight here. Let's see. Knight d5 also. Just knight d5 also looking like a good decision. Just trying to collect the pawn. Wow, what is that? This is amazing what the guy is doing, because we can give a check. he wants to go e2, we take. There is a rook on b4, and then I take. I don't understand the idea, so let me just take. The pawn on b2. Is it possible that he has missed something, because rook b4, it's not catching the knight, so why to give the pawn on b2? This was really strange. Here, rook c2, wow. Is it working? He can really catch my knight like that, but this is amazing. I mean, how to see moves like a rook on c2. This is unbelievably strong play. Okay, let's see. We have to take him. I made a mistake. I should not have taken, but to find this rook c2 plus king on g3, unbelievably strong play by my opponent. Now also here the pawn is hanging. We are in trouble. We are in trouble. Still should be a draw, but obviously I played very poorly because we had a winning position, and now we have to be lucky to secure a draw, which is not so easy. Not easy at all to make a draw here. He just takes. Yeah, this was terrible. But it's all about the move, like I told you, that knight on b2 to see king g3 and rook on c2. Unbelievably strong play by our opponent, because it's just unreal good. To see something like that is absolutely spectacular. Almost impossible to find something like that. Good. Still some chances, or no chances? I think we have no chances here. Also, before I could have played way better. Now I think it's just a lost position. So let's see. Let's see. Maybe still we will get some little chances, but doesn't look like that. I have to play here. He's gonna take. And then we hope to get the d pawn and to try to play for a draw. Okay. Now knight e6, because we don't have something else. We have to bring the king next, because otherwise there is again nothing else we can do here. And we have to hope to get some counterplay. Let's start with the move g5 immediately. Wow, he also sees like everything. d5, good move. I think we have no chance. I think we will lose the current game. We had a completely winning position, outplayed the opponent, and then he found this unbelievable trap. Of course, I should have never go for the trap. What is that? Rook c6. This is insane. If this is winning, I mean, we should never play the guy, because to play rook is c6. It's very, very obvious sign, in my opinion. No, but this is... he missed king e5. No, but... we should never play him. We should just never play this guy again, because obviously he mouse slipped in a completely winning position. Rook c6 is not possible to find for a human. This is too much. This is just too much. So yeah, we just make a draw. And we should never play this guy again. He is too strong. That's why we will not face him again. Alright, let's go with the next game, because this is just insane. In the beginning we outplay him easily, and afterwards, okay, he sees king g3, rook c2. It's almost impossible to find for a human. I mean, human would never do something like that. No way. In the end, to play rook c6, I mean, come on, what is that? It's winning, but a human never does it. Zero chance. So we don't know what is exactly happening there, and we don't care. So we're here to enjoy some good chess and to have some fun. If somebody thinks he needs to do some nasty things, okay, we don't care. We just don't care. Next game we have the Alekhine and bishop g4 early, but it's very playable, obviously. So maybe we should try to play something more interesting. Let's take on d6, so something new at least, yeah. All right. I see the question in the chat if you can accuse or not accuse, but you are never sure. This is the problem, that how can you be 100% sure in chess if somebody is cheating or somebody is not? You cannot be 100% sure. That's why you can only say that, well, we will never play him again and that's it. But you can never be sure about if somebody cheats or somebody doesn't. When you feel that it's too weird, well, then it's very easy. Just don't play this guy again, and that's it. Easy solutions. It's better to search always for easy solutions. Okay, what do we have? We have here slightly better pawn structure. For white, we have usual setup with a move c3, or maybe we can try with a setup c4, also quite interesting. By the way, in case you like our chess content, please like, subscribe. It's a little thing for you to do, and for us, it helps us very much to grow the channel. Tell your friends that there is a new educational chess channel. And very, very soon we will have a beautiful girl streaming. It's gonna be obviously very different from my stream, but for those of you who have 1000 elo, it's gonna be, I think, a fun and educational stream as well. So let's see what we can do here, how to develop the bishop somewhere. Okay, maybe just bishop e3. Feels good to have the bishop here. And next we should develop the rook. All right, next g4. Is it time to play the move g4? I don't know, but maybe it's time to play the move g4. Okay, let's go with the move g4 because we have so much space. So the space advantage is usually giving white some extra. Let's go queen b3, attacking the pawn on b7 plus defending against the move d5. The next move, king on g2, just a very positional game, and we try to be like plus equal in the current position. Also d5 is looking not so bad. This endgame better or not better? No, endgame maybe I should go actually with the move g5, because let's go with the move g5, because the knight is going to be so poorly positioned on h5. And the knight on h7, well, not much better. So I believe we can try to get plus equal endgame and push little by little. So yeah. Okay, I see in the chat when I will be back. Latest tomorrow, maybe today evening, so I'm streaming UAE time. It means now it's more or less midday, maybe in the evening, but it's hard to stream a lot because it takes so much time. Just think about, most of you are enjoying to watch the stream, but imagine doing something for 3-4 hours daily without getting paid for it. So not so easy. Let's go with a move d5 eventually, or to change immediately. Also looking nice. Maybe just first take, I like, because in case knight takes, there is b3. Then we have this rook e2, rook e1, king g2, h4. So it's a very, very typical play. Slow play. little better for white. Knight on h7, not so great. Knight goes to f8, then we're gonna play d5, so we continue playing against the knight on h7. So d5 could be the next move for white. Bishop not perfect. Knight not perfect. Obviously not a big advantage here for white, but small. Small but pleasant. And actually, I like to play positions that are a little better, so we can enjoy. Also, a4, not so bad. To put the pawn a5, we put some pressure, then we play the move d5. So d5 played by black. Yes, it's possible, not a bad idea. Now to take or to play c5. In both cases, I believe white is doing slightly better. So, what should we do? Now the idea of black is to play knight f8 and get the knight to e6. So we should try not let black to get there, but how to manage this? I don't see how I can stop, so I will take. Because I don't see how to prevent bishop b4. Nice move, nice move. So good game by our opponent. I thought that this is not so easy, but he's going immediately for it. Because I think, yeah, it's not working. This is not working. DC is not working. I should not let this happen. No, black is doing very well. Yeah, bishop b4. Strong play. Intermediate move, and what to do for me? I have to play something like bishop d2. Now obviously he takes, and knight on d5, so all my advantage is most probably gone. This was a bad move. Yeah, cd was a bad move to miss. c5. c5 should have been played. Now white, I don't think white is doing worse, but obviously white is not better. Maybe we can try knight here, does it work? Not so good, so let's go h4 just to protect the pawn on g5 first. Monster knight on d5 to exchange the rooks, also very strong positional play by our opponent at the moment. Very good game by black. Let's get the king a bit more active. Without active king we have no chance, so let's get the king eventually to g4. Maybe somewhere we can try to play h5. Okay, we have to defend the pawn. Feels stupid to have the bishop on c3, but what else can I do? There is nothing else I can do, so it's better to have a stupid bishop than no bishop. So maybe he's thinking about taking on d4, but this would be not the best decision, I guess, for black. Yes, he's going for it. Okay. Why is he going for it? This is strange. Because he played really a great game before. And to play this move feels a bit strange because why? You have a great knight on d5. Why you transport your knight to f5 to take on on d4? Yeah, now he's just going back. This is feeling extremely weird. So what we can do here? Okay, let's go back as well because there's not so much I can do. We are getting ready eventually to play knight e5 somewhere. So yeah, let's go with a move knight e5, knight c4. King on g4 is a preparation for the move h5, but at the moment we cannot do that. So we have a good knight here eventually somewhere. We are hoping for a small tactic. Obviously he's not gonna miss it. At least he should not, because he's playing great game at the moment. Very strong game. Especially that he understood that he needs to change one pair of rook and then to play this endgame. Spectacular understanding, positional understanding, because this is hard. Most of the people, I guess, would keep just both pair of rooks, but to have one pair of rook is better for black. So great play. What can we do here? Knight. I don't know where the knight is going, so let's play f4. Maybe we are lucky to advance, even though f4 is not looking like a beautiful move. But maybe we can be lucky, because if I change here a couple of pawns, I think position might be just equal. So this is what I'm hoping for. Time to change. Okay, let's go. As more pawns I change, as bigger the chance to equalize. Obviously, white is not playing for a win, so we try to equalize. King h6, knight f5, checkmate. This is horrible. This would be a disaster, so of course we go king g4. Knight on d5. So what can we do here with the white pieces? Not so much, but we can still try to get somehow some compensation. But very difficult to do something with white. This is a bad thing about the position, because we have to be just passive and keep on waiting. There is not so much we can do. Maybe somewhere knight a5, but not the greatest attacking move ever. Still, maybe we can play it. Can we play it? I don't know if we can, but let's try. This is the first attacking move of the game, because we did 0 attacking moves. So let's attack something, maybe lucky. Let's see. In case you like our educational chess content, of course, like and subscribe. You would help us a lot with that little thing for you. Big thing for the channel. So, here is the next move, or not? Let's go. a4. We just keep on waiting, because there is like nothing I can do here. The only thing I can do is just keep on waiting with the white pieces, because what is the next move for white? I have to wait, but maybe it's enough to be okay. And sometimes people over push, so it means that sometimes players are getting impatient, and then black is pushing something which might be not perfect. So, of course, very dangerous position here for white, because black can play moves like here, trying to checkmate. I don't know if there is a checkmate. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. It does not feel like a good position here. I think rook e8 is just almost a game over. We are doing bad. We're doing bad. Still not over, but it feels very, very bad. Let's see. Let's see. Hello to the chat and welcome, yeah. Welcome everyone. I have to take the pawn because there is nothing else than taking the pawn. Rook on e2. Why rook e2? Why not rook e3? I don't know. So, he wants to win the piece. Well, this is strong. I have to play here. Let's try to defend from the checkmate. Maybe we're lucky. Powerful knights, so powerful knights. If I could change just one of them, this would be huge. But so difficult to change. Okay, I don't know where to play. I have to play here. There is nothing else I can do. I have to go away. And I have to play knight c5. But Still not a game over, so I'm fighting. I'm fighting. It's not over yet, because it looked like almost a game over, but not yet. D4 pawn is hanging. This check is so unpleasant. Rook to D1 probably, because the rook is just doing nothing there. Difficult to give a checkmate to the white king, actually, because how to do that? How to give a checkmate? It feels like there should be a checkmate, but maybe not so easy. Knight is at the moment connected, so we have as well some counter chances. In theory, if black takes here, then we have this long diagonal stuff. So it might be not so easy. He wants to take the pawn, but I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid. Can I go like king on e2? Is it possible? Because it would be great to connect. Oh, I have missed knight c3. This was bad. This was very bad, because I thought there is no rook d4. Whoa, he takes here. This is also possible. Now I will play... Where can I go? So let's go here. I thought he has rook d4 and then he can take. This was completely lost, but now I don't know. Maybe now we're back to the fight, because to take d4, this is bad. He should not aim even to take the pawn. So eventually back to fight. Oh, he takes. This is not good what he's doing, because this long diagonal is just so powerful. Black should not do things like that. What is the next move of black? Let's play here, because we get the rook to e4. I'm not afraid to be worse already, because I can try even to be a little better, I believe. Pawn down, yes, but we're gonna collect the pawn on a7. And the king is also doing very well on d5. The rook is sort of captured. Finally, we are back. We are back. Let's get the pawn on a7. He wants to get here. He wants to go... Okay, let's play maybe first a5. Let's play king c6. Is there a way to give a checkmate to black king? a6 also looking good. Next. So let's go. He waits, and we should just play also some waiting move. He can take here. Okay, we can make a waiting move like this. And there is a checkmate. So, lucky win. Lucky win for us. We did not deserve to win this game. We've been outplayed at some moment. And yeah, black had a winning position. But lucky win in the end. Yeah, nice comeback indeed. Okay, it was a fight. And chess game is never over till it's over. So please like, subscribe to VChess. I hope you enjoyed my stream today. We played quite some games. We had interesting games with ups and downs, which is normal, but I try to comment the games the way I see them, so it was interesting for you to watch the games. I hope you learned as well a couple of new things. And yeah, that's it for today's stream. Maybe I'm gonna stream today evening, not sure yet. It takes a lot of time and effort, so not so easy to make so much free time to do the streams. Otherwise, I'm gonna stream the candidates, obviously. And yes, don't miss the candidates. Best players of the world. We're gonna see great games without a question. So very soon, starting in 2 days already. Alright, so I wish you all great day. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Thank you.